classic Sierra logo right there. As you might notice, King's Quest VI has the notable feature of an opening menu. So that's good, unlike the previous installment. So let's get ready and tune in to the good old opening cinematic. Long ago, in the castle of a kingdom called Daventry.
I suppose I am.
Son, it's been months. You've got to pull yourself together. After all, you only met her that once.
I know.
Have you discovered anything about the land of the Green Isles?
No. No one's even heard of it. It's like she's just vanished.
I wish I could help. Please try to think about something else, dear.
I'll try, Mother.
Yep, we get treated to some early CGI animation, so that's fun. You can see where it all began. Despite his family's concern, Alexander remains tormented by thoughts of Cosima. That magic mirror always comes in handy.
Alexander, I feel so alone. I don't know what to do. Alexander, I wish you were here.
It's the Graham's own personal Tinder.
Cosima! Wait! Mother! Mother, come quick!
What Wizard
Alexander,
asks,
what on
is
earth?
all of it this
You're
bad
white as a
CGI thing?
ghost.
No, this is just the
Mother.
introduction.
I saw Cosima. She was in the mirror.
In the mirror? The magic mirror?
The
Yes.
remainder of the game is
And it
animated
showed
in
me
a
how
similar
to
style
find
as
her.
King's Quest
How?
V.
The stars! I saw the stars outside her window. I can navigate by the stars.
Oh, Alexander, if you really go...
It will be all right, Mother. I promise.
Three long months, Prince Alexander sailed the known seas and beyond. We get a nice close-up of the seagulls here. Ah. A grand ship. the SS Alexander. What Wizard says more like a Graham ship. Am I right? Yes, you are right.
Land ho! Land ho! Land ho!
It's a good thing Alexander had some pirates. Hours pass. Yeah, after Alexander's last experience aboard a ship, you'd think that he'd be wanting to stay far away from those things. Apparently not. As the ship nears the shore, day turns to night, and the sea turns violent. Boy, I sure am glad that we've been treated to this stunning CGI cinematic. Could this be the end for Prince Alexander? One notable thing is that this is the first and only, to my knowledge, King's Quest game that was co-produced by Jane Jensen along with Roberta Williams. Jane Jensen is best known for her work on the Gabriel Knight games. And she, I think, in my opinion, is probably a big reason why this is most likely the best written King's Quest game. So you can see she was responsible for both the text and dialogue. Also give credit to Russell Truelove and Deanna Yalpi for the artwork in this game, which is really, really good, as it was in the previous King's Quest game. And gotta give a shout out to those programmers. Alright, well, I think that's our cue to begin. King's Quest VI.
Alexander awakens to find himself on an unfamiliar beach. For a moment, he is too dazed to remember how he got here. Then, he does remember. The shipwreck, the sea. Just as he had seen his men safely into the lifeboats, a gigantic wave picked him up and tossed him overboard into the churning sea. That was the last he'd seen of his crew. Debris from the shipwreck is scattered along the shore, but of the lifeboats and his men, there is thankfully no trace.
Thankfully.
He can only hope and pray that the lifeboats survived the currents, and that his men made their way safely back to Devontree.
Ah. Seems a little optimistic, but could be, could be. A couple things I'd like to do here. Oh, unfortunately, they only have speech and text still. I was hoping that by this iteration they would have realized that sometimes people actually want to have both. But alas, I'm not jack up the detail there. Okay. So first things first, let's see if there's anything we can pick up here on the beach.
The sand is warm to the touch. Alexander has no need to carry around large rocks. The sand is...
Yeah, I realize that. I'm trying to... There we go.
Alexander pushes the plank to one side. A box has been partially buried under sand.
All right. There appears to only be...
Alexander takes the coin and leaves the ruined box where it is.
What Wizard says, of course Alexander needs to carry around rocks. What is this? Not a King's Quest game? Well, apparently even King's Quest games have their limits. Okay, so I see another sparkling pixel here.
The beach is covered with a fine-grained white sand.
I realize that, but there does seem to be something else here.
Alexander picks up his royal insignia ring from the beach.
Good. All right. Time to explore this mysterious island on which we crashed our ship. The SS Alexander. Or the Graham ship, as What Wizard so beautifully named it. Again, gorgeous environments in this game. Coupled with a setting that is, I think, quite a bit more coherent than the previous game.
Alexander politely addresses the odd-looking guards at the castle doors, hoping to learn more about his predicament.
Good day to you, guards. I was cast upon this island in a storm, and I'm a little confused about my location. Could you tell me what place this is and who lives in this castle?
Hey, what is that you say? A castaway? A likely story. We haven't had any foreigners in this part since Alhazred arrived.
Don't be so rude, Gruff. He's not asking for any secrets. You're standing on the Isle of the Crown, lad, and this is the Castle of the Crown. The royal family resides here. Rather, what's left of the royal family.
The Isle of the Crown? But tell me, am I anywhere near the land of the Green Isles?
This is the land of the Green Isles.
Not good.
The Isle of the Crown is the main island, foolish
We made it.
boy.
Then Princess Cassima must live in this very castle.
Aye, the princess is indeed our treasured jewel to guard, and we consider it an honor.
All right. Well then.
No strangers may enter the Castle of the Crown.
Well, perhaps if you knew that I was a prince, you might think differently. Here, let me show you my royal insignia ring.
Alexander decides to show his royal insignia ring to the Castle of the Crown guards. With all of his papers lost in the shipwreck, it is the only possible calling card he can think of.
Good day. I'm Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm an acquaintance of Princess Cassima. If you could just inform her that I'm here, please.
So everyone says. Let me just look at that ring.
What does it say, Gruff?
Kingdom of Daventry, Prince Alexander. Wait here while I go see what Captain Saladin thinks of this.
Captain Saladin. There he is.
The guard returns a moment later with a
Cap S
majestic-looking
himself.
creature. Captain Saladin speaks with a voice that is gentle, but reflects a will of iron.
Prince Alexander of Daventry, I presume. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with your country.
Oh,
but
man.
I'm sure Wizir Al-Hazred will want to meet you.
Listen
If
to that
indeed
voice.
You are a friend of the princess.
That is Tony,
Please follow me.
the man who did the voice of Justice Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He is a brilliant voice actor. Love that guy.
Lord Al-Hazred, a visitor to see you. Prince Alexander of Daventry.
What is it that you seek, Prince Alexander?
Pardon the intrusion, my lord, but I came to see Princess Cassima. Some months ago, my father, King Graham, saved my family and I from imprisonment under an evil wizard named Mordak.
The same wizard that kidnapped the princess?
Exactly. When my father rescued us, he also liberated Cassima and sent her home.
Then your father has my gratitude, and that of the entire kingdom. But I'm afraid I still fail to see the purpose of your visit.
Well, I came to make sure that Cassima arrived safely and to pay my respects. Before we parted, she gave me an invitation to visit.
I have no doubt she did exactly that at the time, Prince Alexander. However, things have greatly changed for Cassima since her ordeal in Mordak's castle. Cassima's parents both became ill and died while she was gone. Cassima is sequestered in mourning for them as befits a princess. She is not receiving visitors of any kind. Even if she were, I do not think your visit would be appropriate. You see, it is time for Cassima to take her responsibilities seriously. With her parents gone, she no longer has the luxury to be a carefree maiden. As was her parents' wish, Cassima and I are to be wed. We shall rule the kingdom together. I assure you, our marriage is all Cassima wants now. As a prince and a gentleman, it would be best that you leave before there is any further embarrassment.
That's not suspicious
I
at
see.
all.
I suppose that I was mistaken. I thought for certain that Cassima... Well, I apologize.
A young man sees what he wishes to see. I'm sorry you've wasted your time traveling to the land of the Green Isles. May your journey home be swift.
Perhaps I will take the opportunity to look around your fair land while I'm here.
I would advise against that. The kingdom is
We don't like tourists.
rather, shall we say, inhospitable these days. But it is your neck. You may risk it if you please. Captain Saladin will escort you from the castle. Good day.
Captain Saladin was ready to slice off my head if need be.
You have had your hearing with Wizir Al-Hazred. I trust you'll respect his wishes and not return. I have been instructed not to let you into the castle again. Good day, my lord.
Captain Saladin whispers something to the guard dogs at the castle gate, and they nod with understanding.
Whoops. Did not mean to do that. Just minimize the game.
Alexander has a feeling they won't be letting him into the castle again.
What Wizard says is there going to be some goofy racism in this game. I don't recall it being particularly racist, although it is a fantasy game from the 90s, so I wouldn't be shocked if there was a little bit of racism. But, you know, we'll see. Alright.
Oh,
I didn't mean to skip that, if indeed I did.
Good day, peddler.
Good day, sir. If you would like to get one of my fine new lamps, I'll need an old lamp in trade.
Isn't it a rather bad business? Taking old lamps and giving new lamps in exchange?
Well, there's always a chance that I'll find a genie. If I had a genie, well, I'd be richer than a king. Besides, there's always a roaring business in antique luminaries.
I guess that makes sense. The antique luminaries part, not necessarily the genie part. Alright. Let's check out.
old lamps for new. Old lamps for new.
I hear ya. I'm gonna check out this pawn shop, though, since I don't have any lamps.
Good day.
Alright. Let's see what we can find here on this
The
table.
pawn shop's counter is made of a sturdy teak. The wood is well worn by eager hands and well oiled by the shop's faithful keeper.
Have a chat with the keeper.
Good day, merchant. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I can tell you she is in a dark time. Without the ferry, communication between the islands has ground to a halt, and so nearly has my business. Why the long ages of peace have ended, and why the crown has not done something about it is beyond me. But then, I am a shopkeeper, not a politician, and can only hope for better days.
Alright. Shopkeeper hopes for better days. Let's see. So, we do have a gold coin here. Perhaps we can trade it for something.
I have this copper coin.
Copper coin,
Is it
excuse
of
me.
any value to you at all?
Most interesting. I have never seen a Daventry coin before, but it is copper genuine enough. I might even find a buyer who is interested in foreign currency. The items on the front counter are the only things in the store that I can let go for the price of 1 copper. You may make your choice from there.
Alexander looks at the items on the counter to make his selection.
Alright. Let's go with the Nightingale.
That mechanical nightingale looks intriguing. I believe I'll take it.
Very well. Your coin is well spent. Remember, this is a pawn shop. I am always willing to take back my own goods in trade.
I'll remember. Thank you.
Alright. Back out here. What Wizard asks, if you play Monkey Island 1 with the... So a bit off topic, but would you play Monkey Island 1 with the original mode or in the remastered version? Probably with the at least with the original graphics. I might...
Old lamps.
I might have voice acting on, but I haven't decided yet.
hello. I will be right up.
Alright. So here I am inside the
Now,
bookstore.
What can I do for you?
See if we can take any of these things.
There's a small table near the door that bears a sign. The sign has undergone a number of changes. It once read 10 pence, but that was crossed out and replaced with 5 pence, then 1 pence, then free. The sign currently reads, "Take one, please." Only one book remains on the table. It looks like the bookshop owner really wants to get rid of that book.
Alright.
Good day, sir. I'm a stranger in this land. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
That is quite a question, young man. Who are you, and what would you have me tell you?
My name is Alexander. I know I'm on the Isle of the Crown, but I'd like to know whatever you can tell me about this island, and if there are other islands nearby.
You are indeed a stranger. Anxious is the man who knows not the customs of the land beneath his feet. This island is called the Isle of the Crown, because the royal family's castle is here. Besides the castle, we also have this village, and the docks over to the west. There are at least 3 other islands: the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, the Isle of the Beast, and the Isle of Wonder.
At least 3? Does no one know for certain?
This is no ordinary land, Alexander. The land of the Green Isles has always been a place of vague boundaries, as if islands come and go. Legend speaks of a 4th island, an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then, too, the land of the Green Isles is said to exist on the boundaries of this world and the next. Even darker places are reputed to be closer here than anywhere else in the world.
That's quite a
Darker
claim.
places.
Claim, yes, but probably just local superstition. We who live here on the Isle of the Crown, at least, sleep well enough at night.
Those first 3 islands you mentioned, how might I learn more about them?
Ideally, a young man seeking such knowledge would travel to their shores and learn about them firsthand. Meeting the leaders of each place would be helpful, naturally. Unfortunately, the ferry no longer
Always
runs
easy to
between
do.
the
Just go to a
islands.
foreign land and visit
There has
leaders.
been much political unrest, and it has been too dangerous to travel for years. Perhaps the ferryman can tell you more. He has little enough to do these days. And if you haven't been there already, you might seek an audience at the castle.
Oh, I've already done that.
Thank you kindly, merchant, for all your good advice.
Ah, but advice is free, Alexander. Making use of it costs much more.
Alright, I've heard enough. Ah, welcome, Panda Space Dan. Panda Space Dan says, and the Isle of Stinky Farts.
Alexander picks up the book from the small table.
Oh, yes, please, take that book. You have my most humble thanks for doing so, good sir.
Really? Thanks.
Alright. So, what is so unappealing about this book here?
Alexander opens the bargain book and reads a paragraph at random.
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 and an eighth bottles of wild beast lard.
Phew, what an incredibly boring book. No wonder the bookshop owner wanted to get rid of it so badly.
Alright, and what's the title of this book?
Alexander is carrying a book from the bargain table in the bookshop.
Guess, that's an unknown. Panda Space Dam, whoa, why do I keep, why does that keep happening? Anyways, Panda Space Dan says, what a judgmental dude. What Wizard says, I stream Splunky every day for a secret audience.
Alexander is standing in a cozy little shop. Books of every size and shape line the walls. A crackling fire in the fireplace completes the tranquil scene. Volumes of poetry are on display on this bookshelf.
Alright. Let's read some poetry.
Thinking of Cosima, Alexander decides to leaf through one of the volumes of love poetry. He reads, Thy hair, thy lips, thy beauteous face, and all thy studied female grace have won for thee anon a place within this broken breast. Not bad. And another. Upon the shore the lilies bend, untouched by worldly care, where shadow they her earthly bed, oh, that she were not there. Yikes. And another. What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and binds my heart with links so tight I cannot live without the sight of you? What nameless thing has captured me and made me powerless to flee? What thing is it without a name that brings my mind e'er back the same to thee? The name of love cannot apply. Its commonness does not decry the haunted, hunted, painful cry that my heart makes for you, that e'er my soul eternal makes for you.
A little close to home, that one.
Alexander returns the love poem book to the shelf.
Just to remind you, this is someone that Alexander has literally met once. For only a few seconds. Inside Mordak's palace. It looks like a page has fallen from the book.
A page has fallen from the poem book and now lies on the floor.
You said it. Let's pick that up.
Alexander is not interested in those self-help books. Alexander picks up the fallen page. It's the love poem he particularly liked. It must have fallen out of the poetry book.
I see that old volume has lost another page. You may keep it if you like, sir. I have glued the stubborn thing back in place 2 times already.
I do rather like it. Thank you, merchant.
Alright, well I have this love poem. What's this thing on the counter?
An antique leather-bound book is displayed on a little stand on the counter. On the elaborate cover is the title, Ye Useful Book of Magic Spells.
Alright, I'm assuming that eventually I will need to purchase this useful book of magic spells.
How much for that book on the counter, merchant?
It is a fine book, is it not? I obtained it from the estate of the one and only magician this kingdom has ever had. Poofed himself into an aardvark in the end, or so I heard. I never found the spells all that useful myself, but then I lead a boring life. I tell you what, if you can find another rare book, something a bit more marketable, I might be willing to exchange the spelled book for it.
Alright, well, if I'm able to find some kind of rare book, I might be able to get that spell book. I guess let's go over and talk to this completely not suspicious-looking character over in the corner here.
Good day, sir.
The mysterious old man just ignores Alexander.
Alright, well, can't do much about that now, can we? So heading out. Hello.
The girl is too far away to hold a conversation with Alexander. Alexander doesn't want to intrude on private property unless he's been invited. Alexander has not been invited to pick the family's roses.
Ah, come on. Whoever needs an invitation
You lazy
in this
thing!
world.
Get back to work and stay away from those roses! I've told you 1,000,000 times, those flowers are too sweet for the likes of you! You've still got to do the breakfast dishes, make lunch, and clean the stables yet this morning! And get your veil back on! No one wants to look at your face!
Yes, stepmother.
Oh, that's so sad. Panda Space Stan is very sad.
Hey, stranger, come join me. The water is wonderful, and I can show you the way to the next island.
Yeah, why not? Nothing bad can come of this, right? Yeah, join him, why not?
Good day. I'm Alexander. What are you doing in the sea?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm swimming. I mean, come join me. The water's wonderful. I can show you the way to the next island. Come on,
Yeah.
jump in. A little water won't hurt you. Come join me if you're brave enough.
Well, no one questions my bravery. You better jump in.
Considering the poor condition of the shore, it looks like the easiest way to get into the water is just to jump off the pier. The powerful currents grab Alexander. Struggle as he might, he feels himself being pulled out to sea.
Not a very good swimmer, are you?
Help me!
Sorry, I think not.
Man, what a dick.
As his head submerges for the third time, Alexander finds himself pondering the wisdom of going out on a limb for a stranger.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
Alexander couldn't handle those currents. That boy must be an unbelievably strong swimmer.
I really like the death sequences in this game. Alright, well, we've seen the result of that, and it's not good.
Come on, jump in! A
let's
little
ignore
water
the
won't
fellow.
hurt you.
Instead, let's check
What
out
are you
this
waiting
boat.
for? I said I'd show you how to get to the next island, didn't I?
That's strange. The young boy in the water just disappeared. Oh well, perhaps he just dove under the water.
That sounds likely. That puff of smoke doesn't indicate anything differently.
Yeah, what do you want?
Alright, so now for one of the hardest puzzles in King's Quest VI, which is talking to this man when he's standing very close to you.
Alexander promises himself.
Excuse me.
There we go.
My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say old Allie sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know.
I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you. Well, don't just stand there. Come
Good
on
old
inside.
Allie. Panda Space Dan says the writing in this game is way better. Yeah, it is. It was actually written by Jane Jensen, who also wrote the Gabriel Knight games. I am generally very fond of the work that she did while she was with Sierra. Alright.
I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked?
Huh. It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. 'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then this unrest is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
Why do you have it docked in the
To get
ocean?
off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander.
Alright.
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Cassima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands.
Sound like friendly sorts?
I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then. They came back aboard. I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Cassima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen. But the Queen had no answer.
Seems like there might be some corruption afoot in the capital.
What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates?
Me? I'm out of a job.
The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks. But that knowledge does me no good now.
Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well.
Tell me more about Princess Cassima.
Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother
Not sure if
was the
that's
same.
totally a good
The
thing.
king and queen, they served the islands, not the other way around, always thinking about the people. They are sorely missed.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind you. Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but unfortunately, you can't get very far onto the island.
Oh yeah? Is it the beast that stops you?
What else can you tell me about the land?
The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the most gorgeous creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see them, that is.
These are some very cryptic messages.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Castle of the Crown sure is a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Some say that the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and that the deadly currents are a result of a magnetism that sucks life from this world to the next.
Oh, wow.
Of course, that's just silly talk.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind you. Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
I think I might have heard that one.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Isle of the Beast is pretty,
Okay,
but
yeah.
unfortunately...
We've looped back. Okay, so how about this thing on your table here? What is it?
There's nothing of it.
I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Perhaps it will at that. Thank you.
It's actually a talisman of evil.
Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean is always an excellent phrase to use after saying a thing. Alright, so we have a rabbit's foot. Of some kind. That'll come in handy. Anything changed in these trusty shops here?
Good day again. How may I help you?
Well, there appears to be a silly man sitting in this chair here. Let's have a chat with him.
Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I'm sorry, but I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess.
Royal connections, perhaps. Maybe this insignia ring will change your mind.
Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia ring and formally introduces himself.
I'm sorry to insist, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and...
I appreciate the offer of the ring, Alexander, but I'm afraid I'm already spoken. Daventry? Where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flit mice. You must be Prince Alexander. Cassima told me about you when
He's quite
she
a
arrived
knowledgeable
home.
man.
How came you here?
Why, by a ship, now wrecked upon the sand. But you know Cassima? She truly spoke of me?
Yes, I saw her briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned a prince to me, Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths. You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It is said they died of heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself.
What a terrible homecoming. If we had only known.
That is a terrible homecoming.
Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent.
Where is she now?
The princess is sequestered in mourning. It's a rather dated tradition, and not required, but the Wazir says she insisted out of respect.
Ah.
I see.
The Wazir
You've yet
sounds...
to say who you are, and how you know the princess.
Maybe he doesn't have the best intentions at heart.
I? Oh, pardon me. My name is Jallo. I am clown to the royal court, and had been since the marriage of Cassima's parents, King Calipham and Queen Alaria. Oh, those were the happy days. The pair of them were so full of joy and life, so in love. And Cassima's birth. It would be hard to explain how long they had waited, how they had hoped for a child. I mean, she was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip, kind and sweet. Oh, she means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I'm so terribly worried about her.
About her grief over her parents, you mean?
Well, the truth is, I do not trust the Wazir or his plans for Cassima. I'm still living at the Castle of the Crown as court clown, his clown. But it is more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, Cassima's pet nightingale. I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for the end of her seclusion. Now I'm afraid I must hurry back to the castle. I'll try to return to the bookshop again later.
Thank you for speaking with me, Jallo. I hope we meet again soon.
Well, there he goes. Let's head over to the pawn shop now. Bye, Jallo.
Oh!
Yeah, old lamps for new, I heard you. Heard you the first time, and the second and the third. And I will hear you many more times as this game continues, I'm sure.
Good day!
Alright, this man now appears to be in here.
Good day, sir.
The old man just glares at Alexander and does not reply. Alexander takes a mint. Alexander already has a mint. He'd prefer to leave some for the other customers.
Probably a good idea. Alright, let's talk to Mr. Shopkeeper.
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Indeed.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it.
Who would ever have use for a magic map?
It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died.
Ah, good.
It was useless magical junk mostly.
Wealthy
which
wizards.
Reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that
A
I need to
literal
dump
gold
out.
mine for
Anyway,
pawn shop owners.
The magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble, and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
All right. Well, how about my royal insignia ring?
Would you be willing to take my family ring in exchange for the magic map?
Daventry, are you a king then?
A prince.
That's my father, King Graham. I'm just Alexander.
Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom?
The ring does mean a lot to me. I didn't always have a family, you know. Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now.
Then you now own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can come back for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for gold.
That's
and a
thoughtful of
warning
you.
about the map. It will only operate when you are out in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to
know.
do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach.
Thank you. You are
Nice.
very kind. And I'll remember about the map.
All right.
Suddenly, the old man in the concealing
Ah, the
cloak
old
sneaks past Alexander, and with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar. The old man stuffs the mint into his mouth and wobbles unsteadily out of the pawn shop.
Do the mints have some kind of psychedelic effect on him?
Master! I followed Prince Alexander as you wished. From the pawn shop owner, he just abstained, just reprieved. He just got a magic map. You fool! You've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop that. Yes, Master. Now, what is this about a magic map? With the map, Prince Alexander could travel anywhere as quickly as I can. I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar, I can't have him
By
stirring
my
things up
scimitar.
now. Get a hold of yourself and listen carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them...
Ah, well. Apparently, genies are able to get drunk on mints. You learn something new every day, don't you? So, the ferryman mentioned, or not the ferryman, Jalo mentioned Pet Nightingale belonging to Cassima that has been missing. And there happens to be a nightingale up in this tree right here.
A nightingale perches on a high branch of the tree. She sings the most beautiful song Alexander has ever heard.
So, there is this one way we can befriend this nightingale, and that is with another nightingale.
Alexander winds the mechanical nightingale and places it on the ground.
It's quite a charming
The mechanical nightingale
little
sings
mechanical
a sweet,
nightingale.
tinny tune. The real nightingale in the tree cocks her head and listens intently. The nightingale flies to a lower branch and looks at Alexander curiously, as if she were deciding that this human might not be so bad.
Yeah. Nice. We've made friends with the nightingale. That will come in use later. Alright, so let's try out this magical map that we got. Probably save my game first, since I hear tell that the islands are pretty dangerous. What Wizard says, she is immediately proven wrong as Alexander decides he wants chicken for dinner. Oh, Alexander's not going to eat her favorite pet nightingale.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Let's head on over to Isle of Wonder. Why not?
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
All right. See what this fellow has to say.
Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters?
Oh, I'm so weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth.
Well, I know one thing that can put people to sleep. What Wizard says, yeah, I guess Alexander isn't Graham. It's true. We've established in the previous game that Graham is kind of a sarcastic dick. So, Alexander is a bit of a counterpart to Graham. Kindman.
If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you.
Hey, that would be great.
Two dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 1/8 bottles of wild beast lard.
Alexander sees nothing of interest on that part of the oyster.
Alright, so we see that the oyster has a pearl in his mouth.
Yields a gilded minnow of precise measurements, 2,069 centidrills by 3,023 6/7 puns, not punts, as might be expected. This is not to say, however, in any sense whatsoever, that deviations in mean temperature of 5 or 6 dregs or so.
Alexander makes a grab for the pearl.
Hey! You fixed my mouth! It feels great!
Ah, the little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber with the rest of his oyster friends.
Aww. Good guy, Alexander. Helping out an oyster. And getting a pearl.
Alexander can't do anything with the distant foliage from here.
Alright, there is something in the water here. I'm a little afraid to go in the water.
Alexander wades into the sea to get the strange object in the water. The ocean currents tug at Alexander's legs. That object is just a bit out of reach.
Alright, well, it seems as though I should wait a little bit before doing that. Maybe it'll eventually drift closer. What's over here?
Alexander hears someone coming.
Ah. Someone's coming. We better wait around and see who they are.
"5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man," said he, "with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies."
Oh my. Well, I'm a man. So, this seems bad.
"Old Tonto, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well."
Alright. A smell. Well, do I have anything that smells good in my inventory? Perhaps this mint?
Alexander holds the item out for the gnome with the stupendous nose.
"Thy nose cannot be tricked that way. The smell of man still rules the day."
Uh-oh. I think I made a big
A man
mistake.
so fair knows, into the waiting sea he goes.
What wizard says what? What is this? This is a group of fellows that guard the island from human invasion. That's a good shot of Alexander there.
The gnomes toss Alexander too far out into the sea for him to get his footing. The currents drag him under.
Well, that's the last of Alexander.
Oh. Next.
Guess those gnomes couldn't reach a consensus.
They couldn't reach a consensus, alright. Alright. Well, we got our pearl. I don't think I have the necessary items to overcome the gnomes. So let's get out of here. Go somewhere else. Or perhaps we'll be a little more welcome.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Perhaps the Isle of the Sacred Mountain will be more hospitable.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Cool. Well, there's a cliff face with some words, and a couple of items on the beach. First, what's this?
Alexander notices an unusually large coal-black feather lying on the beach.
Nice, feather. That might be useful for something.
There's nothing of interest. Alexander takes the feather. There's an ugly flower growing near the base of the cliff.
All right, ugly flower, coming with me.
Alexander picks the flower and is startled by its hideously strong skunk-like odor.
Ooh.
For a moment, he can smell nothing else.
Perhaps the one of the smelling gnome will appreciate this strong smelling odor of this flower. All right, so let's head off this island. I do need to go up this cliff face eventually, but I'm going to get back to that.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Let's head back to Isle of the Crown, because I think there might be one or two things here I can use.
Alexander feels a strange pulling
to get onto
sensation.
the Isle of Wonder. Alright. Back to our favorite isle, the Isle of the Crown. Home base, as we may come to call it eventually. Our friend the Nightingale is sitting there. Alright. Well, looks like he just dumped some stuff out into this pot, so I should probably check it out.
Alexander sorts through the odds and ends that the pawn shop owner dumped into the pot. Magic exploding gum wrappers, a shattered crystal ball, a cracked wand, a fake thumb. Near the bottom, Alexander finds a little glass bottle labeled ink. It appears to be empty, but Alexander decides to take it anyway. You never know when a small bottle will come in handy.
If Zelda has taught me anything, that is true. Alright, so... oh, hey. I do have this, this the pawn shop owner would let me trade the pearl for my insignia ring.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Alright, so pearl.
I found this large pearl. Might it be valuable enough to ransom back my family ring?
I have never seen such a perfect pearl. Certainly you can have your ring back.
Cool.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't sell it. I'm a bit attached to it, I'm afraid.
Of course you are. You would be cold-hearted if you felt any differently. I am happy to see a family heirloom back with its rightful owner.
Nice. Alright, so we have our insignia ring back. Which means that we can, make acquaintances with Cassima, potentially. If we give Cassima's pet bird, pet nightingale, the insignia ring, presumably it should bring that ring to Cassima. So let's test that theory out. Alright. Insignia ring.
Alexander holds out his insignia ring to the nightingale, hoping she perhaps is the nightingale that Jallo spoke of, and that she might be able to take the ring to Cosima. The ring is the one thing he has that might alert Cosima to his presence on the Isles. The nightingale swoops down and grabs the ring. She flies off towards the castle, perhaps to Cosima.
Sing, sing. What have you got in your mouth, my pretty?
Fly,
A
my
gold
pretty,
ring?
fly!
Sing, sing. Where did you get this? Realm of Daventry. But this is Alexander's ring. Oh, my soul. He must be here. Sing, sing. I wish you could tell me what you've seen. Is he really here, then? On this very island? Oh, if only I could leave this castle as easily as you. Take this ribbon, Sing Sing. If you know where he is, return it to him. Please be careful, Alexander. It is so dangerous, and yet I could not wish you away.
Nice.
The little bird makes a delivery.
I've gotten a ribbon.
It's a red velvet hair ribbon. Could it be? Could it possibly belong to Cosima herself?
Yep.
Or am I merely wishing it were so?
You saw the cutscene. Alright. Cool. Well, we've made first contact with Cosima. I think it's a good time now to head back on over to the Isle of Wonders. So let's get out our magic map.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Alright. So, we'll now save my game so I'm prepared to face off with the gnomes. Okay. Knock on
Alexander
wood.
hears someone coming.
"5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man," said he, "with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies." Old Tantro, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
Alright, he's gonna smell for something. And I shall give him this stinky flower.
Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
Tantro I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore.
Is it really that good if it's so
'tis
stuffed
all,
up?
and nothing more.
Gross. Blow your nose, buddy.
Listen, hark you, Grovenor. Do your duty as you
Man, these gnomes are
With
awesome.
your ears, please tell us more.
Alright, ears. So, fortunately, I do have something that makes noise, and that is this nightingale.
Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
It's a good thing he doesn't hear the winding. That would blow our cover. Oh, look at him dance.
A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all there be. No man is near, and so say me.
Good. I like your earring, by the way.
Taste, Grump, that we might know
Grump.
whether friend or whether foe.
Gross. Grump has a very long tongue. Try this mint, Grump.
Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with the gigantic mouth.
Grump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet. Trilly dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man?
I have a rabbit's foot, so I'm beast.
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the huge hands.
Be all you mad? What aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet. Old Bill Batter, never fatter. Vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter.
Alright. So this is a tricky one. We do have one item that might be able to help us disappear, and that is this disappearing ink.
Alexander's carrying a little ink bottle. It appears to be empty.
Or I should say invisible ink. So, if I empty the contents of this invisible ink bottle onto myself...
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this. Let's now away.
They all sleep together? Well, I've defeated the,
Alexander did it!
Gnomes.
He's fooled the guards! There's no reason to touch that. Alexander...
Get this thing in the water.
Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?" Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete.
Where are you going? Sounds like a dangling participle if I ever heard one. Ah, hello, Ray 12A. Anybody know what seemed to run updated special effects on Windows 7 64? I do not know that. But thank you for joining the stream.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize these books had an owner. I'm in need of a rare book.
No owner? All books have owners, my good man. And this book owner, bookworm to you, wouldn't part with one of his books for anything.
Isn't there something I can do for you to pay for the book?
Let's see. Do you have an itinerant clause?
No. No clauses at all, I'm afraid.
As an exception, you always should.
Don't mind oxymoron and diphthong. They're fairly limited grammatical principles, you know.
Oh man.
Let's see.
So many grammar jokes.
A marsh pig that does Texas?
No. I'm afraid not.
A dangling participle?
I do have one of those.
I'm fresh out.
A purple fiddle whacker?
No, I don't think so. Sorry.
An idiosyncrasy, perhaps?
Afraid not.
Ha! Then what good are you?
Well, he did ask for a dangling participle, and I do indeed have one of those.
There's no reason to use that on a pile of books.
Are you there, most venerable bookworm?
Do you have anything interesting yet?
I do. Check this out.
A regular abnormality?
Let me see what I have.
Alright. I indeed have this dangling participle.
I have a sentence. Would that do?
An incomplete one, I suppose.
Why, actually, it is incomplete.
Just as I suspected, incomplete sentences are a dime a dozen. Why, you can literally just find them floating about. Complete sentences. Ooh, now there's something that's hard to come by these days.
I see. Sorry.
Alright. So... I have an incomplete sentence. What's this?
Alexander has a love poem from a book in the bookshop. Why would Alexander want to do that to the love poem? It wouldn't be worthwhile to try and spice up the book by doing that.
Okay. So perhaps elsewhere? I can find the second part to the sentence.
Wow. Hiya, gorgeous. Oh, what a luscious-looking hunk of flesh you are.
Thank you, I guess. Who are you?
How charming of you to pretend not to know. I'm Black Widow, of course. The femme fatale of all femme fatales. Know what I mean? You know, I was just thinking it was time I found my 50th, another husband. It would be quite a horror, an honor to have me as a bride. Just look at my beautiful weaving. It's so light, so delicate. You'll never want to leave my little nest.
It's quite disturbing
It
to
is
hear
a
that
lovely
voice
web,
coming out of
but my heart is
a
elsewhere,
spider.
I'm afraid.
A terrifying spider.
Oh, drat! The loss is yours. I'm sure you'll change your mind once you consider the advantages.
Panda Space Dan thinks that the bookworm sounds like Hedonism Bot from Futurama. I'm prone to agree with him.
That scrap of paper blew into my web from those books over there. The wind just thinks it can deposit anything here.
A thread is hanging from the otherwise tightly woven web.
Alright. So, perhaps I can pull this thread.
Hey, don't touch that thread!
And while she's fixing that, maybe I can grab this.
Alexander snatches the scrap of parchment, curious to see what's written on it.
Love.
The wind blows the scrap of paper from Alexander's hand, but he remembers what it said well enough.
Love. Okay. Well. Let's journey onward.
Alexander searches for a way to reach the black-haired girl whose memory will not escape him. Milkweed thrives near the mucky swamp. Small bottles filled with milk grow on it like fruit.
Alright, let's get some milkweed.
Alexander takes a bottle of milk from the milkweed bush. Apparently, the dogwood tree doesn't like Alexander standing that close.
Alrighty.
Alexander takes a close look at the tomato on the ground. It appears to be darker than those on the vines.
What are you staring at there, boy? Go away, you rootless thing, you! Yeah.
Yep, that tomato is definitely rotten.
Can I take the rotten tomato?
Hey, what do you think you're doing there? Get your hands off me! Hey!
Nice.
Alexander picks up rotten tomato and puts him away. One never knows when one will need a rotten tomato.
Alright.
Alexander picks a head of iceberg lettuce.
heads. Is that cold?
Alright, I guess it's literal iceberg lettuce. What these baby things?
Hello. Aren't you a bunch of fine-looking young plants?
Apparently, the baby's tears haven't learned to talk yet.
Nice. Baby tears. Okay, well... How about these?
Those snapdragons don't like Alexander getting so close.
I'll leave them alone for now, then. How about these flowers here? Can I pick them?
Zounds! Those wallflowers sure are shy, and the snapdragons are awfully protective of them.
Wallflowers.
Alexander can't even get close to the wallflowers without causing quite a stir.
How about this hole in the wall here?
There appears to be a hole in the garden wall.
Cool.
Through the hole in the wall, Alexander sees a land that resembles a giant chessboard. Wow, it really is a hole in the wall.
Can I pick...
Zounds! Those wallflowers...
Alright. Can I pick up the hole in the wall?
Alexander decides to pick up the hole in the wall. A hole in the wall could be a very useful thing.
It's true.
Alexander startled the poor thing. It's run off to hide behind the wallflowers.
Oh well. Let's check out this place. So, what's up here?
Excuse me, what land lies beyond?
What land? Chessboard land, you knave.
I see. And is Chessboard Land part of the land of the Green Isles?
It is the home of the red and white queens, rulers of the Isle of Wonder, fairest of the islands that owe loyalty to the king of the land of the Green Isles. But perhaps not for long.
What do you mean?
What is the purpose of unity with the great king and queen dead? The princess is worth serving, but the feud with the other isles is strong.
Alright. Panda Space Dan says, this game has taught me that Zound should be a more regular part of my vocabulary. Yes, it should.
I must insist, Your Highness. I shall send the lump of coal to the Vizier and the Princess as a present for their wedding, and that's the end of it.
And I suppose you'll leave me with only this stupid spoiled egg to send, Your Highness. I want to impress the new king and queen of the realm as much as you do. As queen of this island, I have every right to that lump of coal.
Who isn't queen of this isle? The lump of coal is in my possession. Therefore, I shall do as I please with it. Besides, there's nothing wrong with that spoiled egg.
The egg, though delightfully spoiled, is not nearly so valuable as the lump of coal, and you know it. Your Highness always got to carry the singing stone. It's not fair that you get the coal, too.
That doesn't count. The singing stone was stolen by that horrid beast. I should get to keep the coal just because my stone was stolen.
It wasn't your stone. It belonged to the Isle of Wonder treasury. Your Highness always thinks that everything is hers.
I'm not super concerned about this.
Excuse me, my good man, but could you
discussion.
settle an argument for us?
Which of us should get to carry the coal and which the egg? Remember, white is the color of deserving truth and virtue.
Quiet, your Highness, and let him make up his own mind. I, for one, shall be more proper, and not even mention the fact that red is the color of love.
I'm sorry, Your Majesties. I'm partial to both red and white, but I'm afraid that I don't know how to solve your problem. One of you will just have to be gracious and allow the other the lump of coal.
What a ridiculously stupid idea.
Quite ludicrous.
He was a lot of help, wasn't he?
Oh, yes. Obviously a man of high intelligence.
Well, they're kind of irritating.
The lump of coal goes much better with my gown anyway. Black and red are imperial colors.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Red does not go with anything, being much too self-conscious. White is the perfect accompaniment to any color.
Alright, well, you left me this thing, which might be useful later on.
Alexander picks up the Red Queen's scarf.
Welcome, Mr. Bushybrow. Thank you for joining the stream. Alright, well, I think I've pretty much exhausted the locales on this island. So perhaps it's time to journey forth to,
Alexander is carrying what little remains of a head of iceberg lettuce.
Uh-oh.
The lettuce is rapidly melting.
Well, I guess it's one of those limited time things, so as soon as I find something to use that on, I'll need to go pick up another one, I'm guessing.
Alexander pulls out his magic
Alright,
map.
let's check out the Isle of the Beast, because I think that's the one place I haven't been yet.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Hello, friend. Aren't you an odd-looking little fellow?
I'm not odd-looking, you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you could speak.
Speak not. Funny is, speech I am and nothing but.
You speak strangely, friend.
Strange, my speech is not. Eloquence I speak with.
But who are you? And why are you here?
Away I fly my home from. Lost I am, therefore. Has my name too? Can you guess not? It's what I do this branch with, and the way I speak of.
The way I speak of. Alright, so,
Alexander holds the sentence out to the creature.
maybe this creature can help us complete the
This
sentence.
sentence seems in need of an ending. Perhaps you could finish it?
Where are you going? Where are you going? Know what I do? Where are you going to? Like you, I do. Go I with you?
Nice.
Well, that was certainly interesting. It looks like Alexander now has a passenger.
Cool. Alright, what else? What is this here, if anything?
Alexander is standing at the edge of the sea on a heavily forested island. As far as the eyes can see, tall trees spread out their branches as though straining to link arms, their tops forming a canopy above. A path leads north through the forest.
Alright, let's head north through the forest then. Aha. Well, there's a bunny rabbit.
A pond lies across the...
How about the mushroom?
The forest is dotted...
Can I,
Alexander, not being an expert on poisonous mushrooms, decides not to take a chance on tasting the local variety.
Probably a wise move. Okay, so we have this boiling hot water.
An old abandoned hunter's lamp is hanging on one of the trees.
Ah.
Alexander wonders who might have hunted in these dense woods.
I can probably, trade that hunter's lamp into the old lamps for new shop guy later on, so that'll be useful. I'm guessing I can't go through here.
A pond lies across the path. The water boils as if over some magical flame.
Ray12 says, I thought it was a black firefighter in the distance. No, I think it's a hunter's lamp. Okay, so I can't go through this water, or at least I'm assuming I can't, although since I just love death scenarios, I think I might try it anyways. Yeah, that doesn't... I have to actually look at Ray 12. I actually do have to look at that